Arid. Just picked up the new 2-player starter set for Dystopian Wars, and I'm excited to get started with it. There's been a few unboxing videos out already for it, so what I thought I'd do is more of a first impressions, show you some of the things I found while building the plastic kits, and some of the slight issues I've got with the way that they've released this box. So come and check it out. So I thought I'd start with the resin ships, and these are absolutely fantastic. I'm blown away by the detail of these castings. I kind of wish the whole box of this, all the ships were like this in the box. But yeah, these are some really nice fine castings. This is the Commonwealth, the Borodino Russian ship. Just comes in 3 parts. It's got the see the how finely cast that is. The little I don't know if that's I think it's a weapon, but or it might just be the tower, and the sort of smokestack there at the back. But yeah, super happy with that. And then there's 2 of the Enlightened ships. So they've got the Prometheus, although I think it's just named the Prometheus for this particular box set. I think it's a generic sort of classed ship. And then there's this other one which appears to be firing mechanized whales. I think that's a whale on there, and I think it's a crane which sort of loads it into the torpedo tube there. So I don't know if any animals were harmed in the making of this, but I think it's pretty cool nonetheless. So yeah, again, you can see how crisp and tasty that is. Really pleased with that. We've got sort of like a alien sort of turret on the top. So yeah, really nice, really impressed with those. Can't wait to build those up and paint them up as well. Plastics wise, you get, and you'll have seen these in the unboxings, you get 2 types of sprue. You get the Enlightened sprue, which has got the 3 frigates, and this left hand side here builds one of 6 cruisers. There's some flyer token there as well. And the Commonwealth sprue, the Russians, again, this one gives you 2 of the frigates, and one of the bigger cruisers, again with quite a few options. The plastic's really nice, really nicely detailed. Can't complain at all. Made in the UK, and we've seen them before and everyone's sort of commenting on them, but they sort of got their lugs there to stack, which was quite nice. They came all neatly packed in the box. It looks very much like a 40k box Warhammer with it when you opened the box and it was full of sprues, so that was quite nice. And so for the Enlightened, I have to keep thinking of the names. I haven't got them in my head yet. So like I say, you get the 3 of the frigates. So these are just 3-piece, sort of a half, and the rear fin there. And then you get this. I think there's 2 options. You get this little laser turret ball, or there's a more alien looking one to go in there. I haven't magnetized them yet. I might magnetize them. They kind of sit in fine. And that's probably the thing I found with a lot of this, is they all sort of fit in quite snug and quite fine. You know, maybe it's a bit of blue tack if you really want to do, but you know, you could easily move those around the board and not have much of an issue with that. So, and there's only 2 options with these little guys, and the turrets look, yeah, fairly similar. So I don't suppose anyone would mind in that instance. And then you've got the cruiser. Again, it's got some of the turrets, and you can swap those turrets to be one of either 2. And what I found with this one is, again, there's 6 choices with these, so you get quite a lot of options. If you glue this ring to this, I can't think what, a carapace or kind of, you know, like from a bug, but because it's got some sort of lugging nuts there, some little bits sticking out, it sort of locks itself in. Now, you know, I couldn't turn it upside down, it would definitely fall out and fall off, but again, with a bit of blue tack, that wouldn't be too bad if you know, if you didn't want to go down the magnetizing route. And again, you've got the first sort of option there, and you know, moving that around the table, not really an issue. I don't think. I have seen people magnetize it, you know, stick a little magnet at the bottom, and it might again, but it kind of, if you did magnetize just the weapon, that would lock the whole piece in, so that's quite nice. And there's the other option there, the sort of seems to be launching a fighter, so that fits in again absolutely fine. And then the other option there is that one. The only thing you can't seem to do, or it might take someone with a bit more intelligence or skill, is this rear plate here. The lighter variant doesn't have the option to have this. It just has a little turret sort of molded in, but I wasn't really interested or bothered. You know, I can just take that out and there we go. But yeah, this one was a little bit fiddly to build. It's made up of quite a few parts, and they're all, the way the guide sort of tells you to build them, they're all sort of quite free floating until you sort of get it all joined together. I'd suggest sort of trying to build this front bit and adding these pipes into this section. That would give you a bit more rigidity to build the back up. And I've been using this Tamiya extra thin cement. So I don't know if you guys used this before. The model makers tend to use it, but it's really thin and it flows really well. So what I tend to do is, once I've got like sort of the initial joins, I just turn it over and you just run the brush along the joins, and it sort of, the capillary action pulls it in. And I found that's been a really helpful for building all these. So for my plastic stuff, I tend to just use the good old Revel stuff, but it's quite thick, and you know, if you make a mistake or touch it, you know, it all just starts getting claggy. So if you have got anything liquid like the extra thin from Tamiya, then I would suggest you use that. But yeah, they seems quite nice, no bother at all. I'm not a huge magnet person. I do use magnets. I use them all from Napoleonics. Whether I would, well, I'll tell you now, I won't be magnetizing all of these little turrets like this. I would probably just, if I'm honest, stick some blue tack on them and off we go. And this sort of holds itself as he knocks it over. You know, again, a tiny bit of blue tack. But I know some of you guys like to go the whole distance and magnetize a lot, so it's definitely you know, easy to do. And especially with them being sort of open underneath, you could easily glue some sprues or some sort of supports in there to hold your magnets. So that's the Enlightened. And then for the Commonwealth, you get the Corvette, the cruiser, and two of the little frigates. Again, these are just a couple of pieces. There's no options with these guys. I like the aesthetics for the Russians, but I'm not sure I like these little ones. I think the proportions just seem a little off. They're a little stumpy, and I don't know if it's because the tower's sort of as wide and as chunky. You know, I don't know. I do like the aesthetics, but I think they look a bit. I think they should be a little bit longer and narrower. But hey, it's a game, sci-fi. I love the cruisers. I love these sort of smokestacks, or sort of looks very industrial. And again, there's quite a few options there. I don't know if it's 6 as well for the Russians. But again, what I've noticed is everything sticks together sort of really well, and you can, it all sort of holds itself together. So again, for the few options, you know, I can replace the rear there with the bigger section, and it sort of holds itself together. Will it hold itself upside down? Yeah. So again, you could definitely magnetize that and it would give it some more rigidity, but I think for myself, maybe it's a smidge of blue tack and off we'd go. So again, and the Russian turrets, they've all got the holes in the little nuts, lug nuts sticking out, so you know they fit on there nicely and they sort of stay on. Yeah, I think they're really nice, well designed. And again, there's a couple of designs, so what you can do is, I haven't glued any of this together, you see, and then I can flip this out. Whether I'm going to continue doing this, I don't know. I'm just gonna end up, instead of having any completed models, I'm just gonna have bits of everything. But I'm just, you know, to show you, they do seem to hold themselves really well and all fit together nicely. And Bob's your uncle. But what some of the issues that this leads on to with all these options, let's move that out of the way. So what you'll find in this box set is there isn't any instructions on how to build any of these models. There's no instructions about what they are, what their stats are, anything like that. And I think the on-table guys sort of called it out, but I noticed it fairly quickly. But what you're looking for here is these two URLs here, and that's where you have to go if you want to get the assembly guides and if you want to get any of the stats for all of this. So I'll jump on the computer for a second and show you some of these things. So if you follow the assembly guide URL, you get to a very nice assembly instruction PDF, and it's, you know, nice and detailed, clear pictures, and it breaks it down for you. I think I mentioned the numbering on the sprues are just kind of feel a little bit weird. So if you want to use the particle beamer, you're looking for numbers 10 through to 16. So why, you know, what you'd normally expect is to see 7 of these on the sprue all numbered 10, for example, not labeled 10 through to 16. So it's fine on these non-complicated sections, but sometimes the numbers are repeating multiple times and it just kind of feels a bit unnecessary. And then you have the cruises, and it sort of tells you that if you follow these steps you can build the Antarctica, Lovelace and Ulysses, which is absolutely fine. It shows you what you need to build. And again, you've got the other 3, the Copernicus, the Chalet and the Stiletto class. But the problem I've got with this is I'm new to Dystopian Wars, is which of these do I build? I don't know what any of them are or do. I don't know what their weapons are or what options I should choose. And if I look in the campaign that's for this starter set, and you look at one of the missions, it'll sometimes label, if it's like the named ship or the battleship, it'll tell you, but it quite often just says a unit of 2 cruisers and a unit of 4 frigates. It doesn't tell you which ones to use. And actually at the start here it says, you know, the scenarios are sort of described in general terms. That fits on the screen. Everyone's collections may be different, and it's encouraged to try alternating them, which is fine. But as a new person to Dystopian Wars, I'm kind of feeling a bit lost. I suppose normally the sprues don't have so many options, but the fact that, you know, 6 options for the cruisers and there's X amount for the Commonwealth cruisers, and there's nothing in the box that labels the stats or what any of the statistics are for the ship. So you have a look at the second URL, the second link on the thing. And it actually doesn't appear to work properly. So the first one does take you to the PDF, absolutely fine. The second link just drops you into their sort of homepage, and I mean it's not too hard. If you scroll down, you get to the unit cards option, and you can actually get to it from the factions page as well. It sort of takes you to the same spot. You choose your faction, and then you get the option for the unit cards of the ORBAT, so the order of battle, and this is where you actually find all the stats for the weapons and each of the different ships. But again, as a new person, this doesn't really help me. You know, I don't know what any of these weapons are. I don't know. You know, I can have a pulse emitter for free or a Stygian agitator for 10. Like, I don't know. So I just kind of feel they could have given me a hand, given me a slight. You know, I know there's all those choice there available, and that's great that it lets you build lots of different things. But at the same time, you know, as a new person, I really could do with a helping hand. And then the last thing on here is you can get the unit cards. And this is like the actual playing pieces, you know, the cards that you use at the table. And again, I totally get that it's all digitized, and you can see they've got the versions labeled up there. So they're obviously planning on keeping these up to date and modifying them. And, you know, as the meta changes, you know, it's a great way of keeping things up to date. And not every game, you know, uses cards, so it's not unacceptable. You know, you quite often buy a book and you get the stats and you just memorize them, but these are clearly meant to be used at the table. There's obviously a lot of stats on here, and the fact that you flip cards over once they hit a certain sort of threshold or criticality, and these aren't in the box either. And like, I get that they're digitized, but now I have to print these out, or, you know, if I don't have a printer, what am I supposed to do? I have to go and buy some, you know, take it to a printer and get them printed. Now, I think they should have possibly named some ships and given you some starter forces and said, here's a suggestion of where you might want to go. And even if they just included sort of a really, you know, basic black and white, almost photocopied sheet that they just dropped in the box, just with these cards on, just to get you started. You know, it's a starter box. I totally would get if you bought a new box and it didn't have these in and you just printed them, download them. But for a starter box where we're trying to get people into the game, I think they sort of missed the mark ever so slightly there. But saying all that, I'm definitely not doom and gloom. I'm definitely very excited to get started on this. I just missed out picking this up the first time round when it was Spartan Games. I've actually had a French carrier in a box for a long time, which I just never had a chance to use. So I'm very keen to get started on this. I think the models are lovely. The resin ships are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited to get them rest built, get them painted, and get them on the table and have a few games. I just think starter set wise, they could have eased me into the universe, into the ship options a little better. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Any of you picking this up? I know I've seen one or two of you. British Legion, sorry, is doing some stuff. I know a lot of you have played it, you know, in its previous incarnation. So are you going to pick this up as well? Let me know. Anyway, that's it, guys. Hope everyone's well, and I'll speak to you later. Ta-ra.